It's time to head to the crypto space now to see what's going on there. And, it's been bloody, but I wonder if Ladi has brought a bit of good news.
Exactly. So it's looking like the other color for the Christmas theme. It's either red or green, but it's red.
Yeah, but we have the Christmas colors complete there, so green and red.
There are a few pockets of green, but just BNB, they're trying to hold up $672, up 0.21%. But ever since we got that hawkish tone from the U.S. Fed, we've seen Bitcoin not been able to get back to that 100,000.
Yeah, but we know something that will propel it back to that 100,000.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
That's almost sure.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
At this point. All right, so we're seeing a lot of profit taking in the market so far. It was a bloody weekend from last week. We've seen Bitcoin there struggling, but it's still trading between a range there about 95,000, about $96,000 range. Then we see other altcoins, top cryptocurrencies also struggling at this time. Let's look at the sentiment in the market now. How are investors feeling? Looking at the fear greed index, it's still greedy. Some show neutral sentiment at this point, but according to the fear greed index, it's still 70 points. Still a greedy market, but it's tending towards neutral at this point. Let's look at some top headlines now in the market. We see from Robert Kiyosaki, he's saying the global crash has started. At this time, he made a tweet, a post on X, saying that Europe, China, and USA are going down. Most of those stocks, and he's asking if there's some depression, coming ahead, and he's advising smart money to hang on to your job and your money. The biggest problem now are most of the leaders. That's according to Robert Kiyosaki. They were seeing Justin Sun selling off about 50% of his Ethereum holdings at this point. I guess maybe some good old profit taking there from the owner of Tron. That's a founder of Tron. He's been selling about $143 million worth of Ethereum so far. We've also heard, from some other institutional investors that they're not looking at accumulating more Bitcoin going into 2025, but who knows, that could change, at some point. Let's try and bring in Olumide Additional now, financial market analyst. Hello, Olumide.
Hello, Ladi. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Good afternoon, Olumide. So, I don't know, I'm sure you've heard what Robert Kiyosaki has said this time. He's quite vocal, most of the time in a bear or bull market. And he's out now, and he's saying that a meltdown might be close. That's for global stocks. What are you seeing?
Yeah, it's fair to say that because the appetite for risk has moderated in the aftermath of hawkish Fed. And you need to understand the dynamics the US dollar and the US market plays in global finance. So we've seen that the bulls have been unable to claim the 100,000 mark, and that really has weighed on the altcoins, particularly XRP, Solana, PNB, and the rest. So we're going to the end of this week, trading will be with caution because we expect decline in market activity because of the holidays, and also the fact that there are no major indices that will trigger the run we saw last month. However, President Trump still remains the golden star among the Bitcoin bulls, and that really has given strong projects that it's unlikely for us to see a Bitcoin below 80,000 before the end of this year. However, despite the fact that appetite for risk has also reduced, the conditions in the Middle East also seems to be quite fluid with the Gaza, Israeli, and Houthis mental from Yemen really causing so much drama. So investors definitely would not want to really put in so much till President Trump takes office.
All right, but I'm sure you're used to projections coming from Robert Kiyosaki. Would you say he's been spot on most of the time?
Well, I think it's fair to say that it's mixed. Nobody actually gets it absolute. But we're looking at the market cycle. One will understand why he said that. We expect the market to definitely correct. but I think Bitcoin has been exceptional so far. This asset class has more than doubled in value and has proved bookmakers wrong. A lot of people didn't see Bitcoin ending the year at this level. So, I think the market has shown that they are ultimately the decider here.
And going by what the U.S. Fed Jerome Powell said for the last meeting, that we shouldn't expect much rate cuts, going into 2025. But he also said, depending on how inflation goes, that would determine, what plays out for rate hikes or maybe another rate cut, going into 2025. But do you think there's any headwind there going into 2025 for inflation in the U.S.?
To be honest, I don't see it. The headwind definitely will come from the fiscal side from President Trump. The market was shocked. That's because experts expected at least 4 rate cuts in 2025. And there was also this narrative that a dovish Fed will support the Trump presidency, but that doesn't look like what is materializing. So, you could argue that the U.S. economy still shows strong fundamental, but pocket of resistance from Europe to Asia tells you that all might not be so well. So, I think investors are also putting that into consideration, and that's why we see the appetite for risk really not be picking up this week, Ladi.
Yeah, and remember before the last meeting, Jerome Powell did say Bitcoin was like digital gold. He likened it to gold. But for the next meeting, he did say the Fed is not allowed, to hold Bitcoin. Was that statement really that bearish?
Yeah, that was the nail. That was the nail in the coffin. And that was the nail in the coffin. And definitely, despite the fact that Bitcoin is being hampered to be used as a strategic reserve, it tells you that is definitely unlikely in the Trump's administration. I don't see that happening. It means that you are shorting the dollar and putting in the Bitcoin ahead. So market proponents are being more realistic and looking at key actors in the ring, but it's never until Trump comes in for us to see a clearer path to the use of Bitcoin under his administration.
And for you, do you think any government trying to build that strategic reserve for Bitcoin, do you think is purely negative for the local currency?
I think it's positive. I think it's positive for weaker economies like you look at El Salvador. I think Bitcoin has been a blessing. The smallest Latin country has been known for weak economy parameters, but Bitcoin has been a good PR so far. This is the first country that really integrated Bitcoin into their financial system. And if you look at the performance in terms of asset holdings, they've done better than countries like Nigeria, Brazil, even Russia. So it becomes quite a problem when the economy becomes more systemic. Economies like Europe, America, where it's unlikely for Bitcoin to play a key role, because the market definitely there has a strong traditional presence. But weaker systems, countries that have shown little upsides in the past, will definitely have Bitcoin advantage if they really adopt that. And that's what we're seeing. But on the corporate side, I think the clear winner has been MicroStrategy. Look at the stock has done so well. Because of Bitcoin exposure, even not because of the market correction last 2 weeks, it has done about 5x. Now it's about 3.5x. So it definitely, we're most likely going to see smaller countries adopting it, but very unlikely for us to see a G7 or probably a G20 nation taking Bitcoin as a golden asset.
All right, very quickly now, before I let you go, do you see one last hurrah with Bitcoin before Wednesday, Christmas?
Probably, we hope so, but Larry, it's getting close to holidays, so I think it's just looking like a pump and dump scenario, right?
Right.
from Friday to Sunday. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Olumide Adesina. Always great to get your perspective. Yeah. So there you have it. Ini, he's not expecting a last move before
perhaps just
Christmas.
more profit taking.
Yeah.
Because Christmas is for spending.
It's for spending, right? Nobody's going to want to invest, even though Bitcoin, crypto, 24-hour trading, no holidays at this point. We'll definitely see.
Thank you, Ladi. So that's it on the program today. Thank you so much for being a part of Business Incorporated. It's just Monday. I know it's a holiday, but we'll be here with you, for you, all through the holiday. Just a little bit of Christmas business, perhaps. I'm Minnie John Meko. I'll see you tonight for the Stock Market Report.